Damian Lillard. I love me some Dame. I don't know if you guys are like me, but Dame. I've been watching basketball since I was like 7 or 8 years old. 2006 was the first season I remember of the NBA. But Damian Lillard's been here since I basically been 12 years old. I'm 23 going on 24. So most of my actual basketball memories that I can tell you moment for moment, Damian Lillard's been there on a Trailblazers roster. According to Shams Charania, Damian Lillard and the Blazers expect to have a serious conversation about what's next. Damian Lillard has been essentially shut down for the remainder of the season. We reported that the other day. While Damian Lillard is dealing with a calf injury, the reality of Portland falling out of the play-in spot is the reason for this decision. The Blazers have a lottery-protected first-round pick that they will retain. Portland could also entertain the idea of trading Damian Lillard. Shams Charania of The Athletic writes, "You now have to wonder if Lillard ever steps on the court again for Portland. Damian Lillard is due $216 million over the next 4 seasons and has privately considered the possibility of a trade, even though his public statements have demonstrated a desire to win with the Blazers. Quote, I expect there to be serious conversations about what's next for both sides," end quote, Shams Charania wrote. Now let's discuss this. Damian Lillard is one of the most talented and accomplished players in the NBA, and his trade value is undoubtedly high. Now, I want to hear your thoughts down below. The Portland Trailblazers, Lillard's current team, will need to consider the value as they contemplate rebuilding without him. Do you rebuild or not? Obviously, they have Shaedon Sharpe, who's a great guy to rebuild. But today we will examine Damian Lillard's trade value, the factors that contribute to it, and how the Portland Trailblazers will continue to, potentially evaluate a rebuild if they were to trade him. First, let's look at Lillard's trade value. There are several factors that can contribute to this value. Obviously, his on-court performance has been phenomenal. His leadership and his marketability. We do know his durability is something that's going to go against them. On the court, Lillard's a dominant force. All right, the guy's going to probably, after the season, be a 6-time All-NBA winner or 8-time, whatever he is at this point. I think it's 6. And he's made the All-Star, 7 times? Guy's a prolific scorer, averaging 30 this year. One of the most, if not the most, clutch player in the NBA. Takes over fourth quarters and overtime. Off the court, the guy's an asset. Community leader, off the court. But not only that, his teammates and coaches love him. He's known for his work ethic, his commitment to the game, positive influence. Lillard's also a marketable player. Dude, the guy has so many marketing deals playing in Portland. That's how marketable he is. Significant following. He's got several lucrative endorsement deals because he's a fan favorite due to his style of play, and the guy's got such a charismatic personality. Given these factors, Lillard's trade value is going to be high. Any team that acquires him would be getting a player who will make an immediate impact on their team, lead the locker room, and generate significant interest and revenue and from fans and sponsors. That's probably, if we're looking at a deal, it's probably going to be a similar deal to a Kevin Durant deal. Or I think it's going to be closer to a Kevin Durant deal than a Kyrie deal. Now, let's consider how the Trailblazers could rebuild without Lillard. There are several steps the team will have to make. All right. If you look at the Blazers roster is a bit interesting as you got to look at the age. So the age is this, okay? The youngest guys on this team right now are, excluding the two-way guys, is Shaedon Sharpe, Jabari Walker, Keon Johnson, Trendon Watford, Naz Little, Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, Drew Eubanks, Kevin Knox, Anthony Simons. That's who you guys would be rebuilding with, okay? Right there. That's 10 dudes you have on the roster. Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, maybe Reddish and Matisse Thybulle, arguably, and Naz Little and Keon Johnson. That's 6 guys that give you, you have 6 to 10 guys that, playing time, opportunities to develop. This would create, I think, a solid foundation that you're not a bottom rebuilding. You realistically could still be in the same position you are this season, next year with a team that isn't Damian Lillard. But second, this team's going to be looking to acquire additional picks. The NBA draft is critical for a team that's rebuilding, reloading, whatever. It provides an opportunity to add young, talented players. Trading, Damian Lillard will obviously be for picks, but you could also use him for additionally as a bargaining chip. And I think it's going to be fine as how they're going to do it. So I want to hear your thoughts right here, because the other thing is when you look at this, the third thing is the team's going to focus on acquiring players who will fit well together, who can contribute to a cohesive team culture. That's an important factor for any successful team, and especially critical for a rebuilding team that is looking for a solid foundation for the future. Acquiring players when they trade Lillard that will have complementary skill sets to the player that they already have and the players that they're going to, bring in is going to help create a team that's greater than the sums of parts. So consider bringing in a new coach who can provide a fresh perspective and help establish a new culture for the team. A new coach, would maybe happen. I think Chauncey Billups should stay because I think he's done a good job of developing young players on the roster, and he's shown that he can create a cohesive team identity and establish a winning culture, in my opinion. So I say keep Chauncey Billups for the rebuild, and if you trade Damian Lillard, it's undoubtedly high, his value, and the team's going to focus on developing its young players, acquiring additional draft picks, building a cohesive team culture, having Chauncey Billups establish the new identity of the team. And while rebuilding without a player of Lillard's caliber is never easy, these are the steps that could help position the Trailblazers for the future and success and insurance that the team remains competitive for years to come.